sediment load classified into two types. First is bed load, second is suspended load. Suspended load. Okay. So for suspended load and its measurement, we use the laminar flow and also turbulent flow. So after the threshold motion pass through its boundary of the canal, flow is increased, flow velocity is increased, and sediment movement shall be stabilized or stabilized. Some of the sediment also carried in suspension, or some of the settled at the bottom of the canal. So the material is kept in suspension by the turbulence of flow, or in other words we can say by generation of eddies that rise from the region of higher sediment concentration to the region of lower sediment concentration. So in laminar flow also, the shear stress caused at the base is due to one factor, and that is due to difference of velocity at top and the bottom in other fraction. So this is the laminar flow near the bottom. This is the velocity profile, laminar velocity profile, velocity distribution curve. Here is the velocity v. Velocity is decreases, or also we can say above the bottom it is increases. This is the tau naught. Here is the shear stress is minimum. Okay, this is the retarded force. This is the total depth of water. This triangular portion shows the velocity distribution. This is the y dy element. Consider dy element distance and from y distance from the bed of the canal. So tau naught is what? Tau naught is the shear stress at bed equal to rate of change of velocity with distance. So tau naught also we can write mu into del v by del y. What is mu? Mu is the dynamic viscosity. So tau naught equal to mu dv by dy. Okay. So this is for laminar flow. This is for laminar flow. Okay. Mu is the dynamic viscosity. Mu is the dynamic viscosity of water or fluid. But in turbulent flow, another factor that comes into play, that comes into role, that is the jumping of particle from higher velocity region to the lower velocity region, and this is known as the momentum transfer or mass exchange. Okay, so if turbulent flow is occur in flow duration, so one other factor is come into play, and that is the jumping particle from higher velocity region to the lower velocity region, and this is due to momentum change or mass exchange. Okay, so due to this transference of mass or momentum change between the two adjacent fluid layers, an effective shear stress is caused or produced at the interface of layer. Okay, so in case of eddy formation, or in case of turbulent flow, each and every layer of fluid each and every layer of fluid generate a jumping particle. Okay, jumping particle, and momentum transfer occurs here, and each layer is act as what? Mass exchange. It is viscosity. Each layer generate as Eddy's viscosity, and it is also defined as the rate of mass exchange per unit area, okay, between adjacent layers. And this is this can be also written as V equal to mu rho W. Okay, and here psi is also defined as Ny rho W, where psi is the defined as the rate of volume exchange per unit area between the adjacent layer, and it is also known as ED kinematic viscosity. This is also known as ED's kinematic viscosity. ED's kinematic viscosity. Viscosity. Okay, so this momentum transfer caused by the generation of EDs bring about the transfer of sediment also, and from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Okay, so sediment is transported from higher concentration to lower concentration region. So if dc by dy represent the, so see the diagram, see the this diagram for turbulent motion with EDs. This is the dy, this is the C2, this is the C1, that is the first layer, second layer. This value we can say DC. So if DC by dy represent gradient of sediment concentration between the adjacent layer. So DC by dy represent concentration of sediment concentration of adjacent layer. Okay, so then rate of sediment transfer, sediment transfer we can also write 1 by n dc by dy, 1 by n dc by dy. Okay, so rate of sediment transfer by volume between the adjacent layer, that can be written as minus psi dc by dy. Okay, so the sediment moved up by these eddies, it brought down by its self weight, and the rate of sediment falling down due to gravity is, we can write as W naught into C, where W naught is the what? W naught is the velocity of free fall of the grain, that is soil particle or sediment. Okay, free fall particle, free fall particle. Okay, clear? So in case 1, when ED kinematic viscosity is constant, when ED kinematic viscosity is constant, case 1, psi is constant. ED's kinematic viscosity is constant. In that condition, we can write dc by c equal to minus w naught by psi into dy, and integrate both sides. EC equal to minus w naught epsilon y plus k, and this value finally we can get in terms of CA by CE exponential e to the power minus Wn epsilon by minus a. This value is not much more useful for our competitive exam. And when epsilon ED kinematic constant is not constant, in that condition, we use von Karman universal constant. We use von Karman's formula. Okay, so according to von Karman's formula, we have a relation that is dp by dy equal to v by ky. V by ky. Okay, this is the condition for when ED's kinematic viscosity is not constant. So rate of suspended load transport also we can calculate by sediment concentration curve, and this curve is plotted. The integration require plotting of velocity distribution curve. Okay, so load transport value that can be V equal to shear friction velocity, shear friction velocity, and V star we can write under root tau naught by gamma W, tau naught by gamma W. And what is tau naught? Tau naught is equal to gamma W RS. So put the value of tau naught, that is gamma W RS divided by gamma W. Okay, so we can also write V shear stress velocity, friction velocity, that is under root G R dash S. G R dash S. Okay. So where R, what is R? R is the modified value of R due to ripples or eddies formation.